1564 at 12:35.
Okay. Mic set, and we will be ready to. All right, folks, if you're watching us on the KSAT weather app or the KSAT app, we're here live in KSAT Weather Center, tracking the cold front that is coming through San Antonio as we speak.
Just looking at some of the airport observations from San Antonio International, we were at 81, now down to 68 in a matter of 6 minutes.
Wow.
So definitely seeing
That is pretty
that
good.
wind turn in now as that cold front moves in.
Thank you. Mia Montgomery with me this afternoon, and we're going to be here with you, kind of keep you up to date on this cold front, because we also have a new severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for the area, and that's something we'll be discussing today. So we get everything situated here. I got to get all my mics on. Let's get you over to the radar, show you what's going on. I'm going to lose the jacket because it's hot in here.
It is a little stuffy in here.
Okay, I got mic cords hanging out everywhere. Just give me just a second. Gotta look presentable.
Yes.
Okay.
And now winds over at the airport, so far gusting upwards of 28 miles per hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and that's about what we expected. So, again, hey there, everyone. Meteorologist Justin Horn here. And you know what, Mia? Could you do me a favor? Could you go ask them if they can flip the prompter for us so we can see ourselves? But here's what we're watching, folks. So we've got a frontal boundary coming through San Antonio as we speak, and it's right here. It's just past the airport. It's near Windcrest, moving through Leon Valley, it's already moved through Garden Ridge, it's moved through Selman Shirts, and then moving through Seguin as we speak as well. And it's behind the front where we're getting some showers and storms, and there is a threat for a couple strong storms today. We've been talking about that, and really hail is the main threat, but it's, for the most part, been small hail. We haven't seen a whole lot of huge issues. Chris, thank you very much. As far as like severe weather goes. So this is good, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is going to go into effect. Well, it's already in effect, but it's going to go until 6 p.m. tonight. And what I can do actually is show you that graphically when we're talking about the severe thunderstorm watch. Pull it up for you real quick so we get everything situated here. But thank you for joining us. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is what we call our appcast, and it allows us to come to you on your devices, your phone, your iPad, and you can follow along as we track some showers and storms this afternoon in this cold front. And it's all anyone can talk about, I feel like, is this cold front. It's very, very exciting.
Because it's a real deal cold front.
It's the real deal.
Absolutely. For all those cold weather lovers like myself. Justin, not so much.
Well, you know, I deal with it. It's all good. There is a severe thunderstorm watch, and you can see where it's aligned there just south of San Antonio. And that is where we're going to watch for, again, the threat of maybe a couple strong storms here or there. So let's go back to the radar. And the heavy stuff really right now, Mia, is up around the Austin area, and that's where we've gotten some reports of some small hail. We got a few pictures in from Lampasas, right? That's where they had hail basically covering the ground. It looks like it had snowed because there was so much hail. But this is what happens when you get storms, what we call post-frontal. They're a little more elevated, and because of that, you can get a little better chance for some hail. And let's go take a look and see if we've got this pulled up here. Yes, looks good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the audio in here real quick, so you should be able to hear us a little bit better. And I think we're in business now. So let's see if we, hey, there I am. Howdy, everyone. If you're joining us on the KSAT weather app. or on the KSAT app this afternoon. Meteorologist Mia Montgomery and myself are tracking the latest with this cold front, which has been the big news all across South Texas as it moves through. And we're seeing these showers and storms develop behind the front. And what we'll do is we'll zoom in a little bit closer to where this front is located right now. And earlier, if you're watching this on the news show, it was crossing 1604. Well, just within the last 10 minutes, it has made it almost to downtown. So this thing it's moving. It's moving. And just because it moves through doesn't mean you didn't get any rain out of it, because most of the rain, as we were just saying, is really behind this front. And that's where the bulk of the activity has been. Bernie got some good rain earlier. The rain has ended there. And now we're starting to see some of this rain move in around Bulverde, northern part of Bexar County, up around Fair Oaks Ranch, Scenic Oaks, and then down towards Leon Springs. None of this is severe, though, and we really haven't seen a lot of that. So that's the encouraging news. If one of these storms do flare up, we'll let you know. But so far, they've all sort of behaved themselves. And there was some small hail here and there, but nothing that has really been really all that bad. Let's take you into Medina County, because we are starting to see some cells pop up there around Hondo. This is just to the south and east of Hondo. Doesn't look like this will affect the city of Hondo, but if you've got some farmland out there along Highway 90, maybe you'll get a good drink of water with this. And that's kind of the hope, is that we just get some rain at the end of the day. That's what we really need. Cool air is a nice benefit, though. I think a lot of people are excited about that. And very quickly, too, I'll take you up near Austin, because this is where the bulk of the heavy rain has been, and this is where we've seen some of the reports of the small hail. This is not in our area. This is up along I-35 as you get up towards Round Rock and Georgetown. That's kind of the problem areas. Now, if you do plan to go up to Dallas today, you're heading up I-35, be aware that that rain is there. So we can see clearly where the front is right there, and it is moving through San Antonio as we speak, and we'll continue to do so here the next couple of hours. And Mia, if you see anything on storm pins or want to chime in,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
We can show you real quick. Let's
sorry,
go
go
to
ahead.
no, absolutely. We just got some good KSAT Connect photos coming in from some folks up on the north side of San Antonio. This is near TBC Marriott there on the north side of town. And really just, yes, some dark skies, but the biggest thing that people are noting, at least what we're starting to see with these reports coming in, is yes, the scattered rain, but just how quickly those temperatures are falling and the wind picking up too. So that's going to be something that honestly is even going to take us into evening plans as well.
Okay.
You know, once the rain kind of moves on out of here, if you're stepping out for Friday evening plans, you are going to want to plan on bundling up there for sure.
Good advice. And Mia, I had a quick idea. I was just thinking kind of on the fly here. If you could, let's try to pull up our YouTube stream on there. And if people have questions,
that's a great idea.
I believe they can contact us through our YouTube stream. We're going to try this out. And we're still kind of tinkering with things, but that's the idea. So we'll see if we can pull that up.
All right, let's check it out.
Okay. And what I've pulled up here, one more time, is just to show you the severe thunderstorm watch. They have issued, the Storm Prediction Center has issued this. And this is going to go until 6 p.m. tonight. It does include San Antonio, Pleasanton, over towards Gonzales. So it's kind of aligned with the front, right? And so this is an area where, if this front taps into some of that deeper moisture and some of that warmth, that we could conceivably get a strong thunderstorm or two, and that's what we'll be watching. But as I said earlier, so far that hasn't really materialized. So the storm threats today, it's going to be mainly hail, and I really think it's probably going to be small hail, but if some of the storms do rapidly grow, then it's possible there could be some larger hail mixed in. But this is not one of those big hail events like 2016 that we all remember so well. This is not that. Probably, hopefully, just some small hail if we see it. We're going through some of the storm pin pictures there, KSAT Connect, I should say. So if you have any KSAT Connect pictures, or you're seeing something where you are, it's a great way to share it with us, because we can show it immediately on air. I was going to look at TransGuide too to see if we could see anything here around town. Not seeing a whole lot. We have access to some of these TransGuide cameras, and it helps us see how the roadways are looking as far as rain goes. But there's not much out there right now, other than we see some of the cloudy skies. Once some rain starts moving in, we'll be able to take a glance at those. But I want to get you through the forecast real quick. If you're just tuning in with us, again, we're on your KSAT weather app, the KSAT app. It's what we call the Appcast. So we can now give you the forecast through your mobile devices if maybe you're at work or wherever you are, and give you some updates here. So here's what we're thinking for the forecast tonight. Storms Over San Antonio, we think between now and 2:30, 3 o'clock, that's kind of prime time for some storms around here. And then eventually moving southeast, 50% chance of rain at 4 o'clock. And then by the time we get into the evening, 5, 6 o'clock, rain's winding down. So if you have evening plans, keep them, but have a coat with you because it's going to be blustery, it's going to be chilly. Temperatures are going to tumble from where we were at, you said we're at 68 now, Mia?
We're at 66 with
66.
the latest
These numbers
update.
just keep tumbling, okay? So we were at 80 just 30 minutes ago. That's what this front does. It's dropping temperatures now 15 degrees almost, just within a 30-minute time frame. So that gives you an idea of just how strong this front is. By 10 o'clock, skies may clear a little bit. Temperatures are going to fall tonight, probably near 40 here in San Antonio, but temperatures in the 40s, gusty winds out of the north. That means we got a wind chill. We haven't talked about a wind chill in forever, but it's back. It's back, and it's going to feel like it's in the 30s tonight. So that's why I was saying have a coat with you if you're going to be out and about tonight, because it will be somewhat blustery. There's the weather timeline for today. We talked a little bit about this. A few strong storms, 2 p.m. and 2 p.m. there maybe 4 p.m. That's kind of the window here around San Antonio. And then the football forecast tonight. I want to get this in really quick. Kickoff 51 degrees, by halftime 49. I'd say that's blanket weather. Rain will be ending. It depends on where you are. If you've got some of those football games south and east of town, the rain may hang on a little bit longer. But for San Antonio, that is the idea. And it's interesting to see these temperatures keep dropping, Mia.
Yep, and the winds keep picking up as well. Already we've seen a peak wind gust so far about 31 miles per hour now over at San Antonio International.
That sounds about right. We've seen gusty winds all along with this front, and they'll stick around through about midnight, I say, and then the winds will start to come down a little bit as we get into tomorrow. So let's get back to the live radar, and we can look at a few things here. So first off, let's check in where the front is, and notice we're starting to get some development with some of these downpours, and that's what we thought might happen. So we'll track those here in just a second. First, here is exactly where the front is located. It is now moving, well, right over the KSAT studios, I think.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's all happening. That'll move through gusty winds for the northern half of the city right now. Here is the cell that is developed immediately behind the front. So right around Helotes, so this is Bandera Road here, or Highway 16, whatever you want to call it, near Hausman. And that's where this cell is kind of blown up. Now, it's not severe. It's mostly just rain, but we can look at the threats and see if there is, by any chance, some small hail mixed in there, and there's not. So there's no hail with this. It is just rain. And what we can also do is look at rainfall rates and see how heavy this rain is coming down. And we can query that. And not that heavy. Maybe over here towards heavier part of the cell, about ½ an inch per hour. So these are not just huge rainmakers. We're not going to see flooding rains with this. But you're going to get a quick downpour where you have to use those windshield wipers, perhaps at a pretty good rate. And we'll switch back to radar here. So that's one cell that we're noticing. They're on the city's northwest side, again, near Bandera and Hausman, closing in on 1604. And this cell is moving northeast. Most of these are moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour or so. So what we can also do is now put a track on this. So this is going to, let's see, we'll zoom out some here, and then put the track northeast at about 35. Well, see, I didn't stretch out enough. Well, okay. Close enough. Let's take that off and try once again. Let me zoom out so I can get a bigger arrow going. Try it one more time. Here we go. There, about 35 miles per hour or so. So this would take us to the rim at about 124, Stone Oak about 136, Johnson High School 142, Boulevardy about 145. Just to give you some idea of this cell here, this heavier cell, again, not severe. It doesn't have any hail with it, it's just rain, but if it's moving in your direction, it can cause you a few issues. So that's the latest track on that particular cell, and there's a few more of them trying to develop here. One here on the city's north side, there on the northern part of Bexar County, then around Timberwood Park, also seeing another little cell develop. And you know what, I'm hopeful we see more of this. We need the rain. It may cause a few issues on the roadways today, but we we definitely need the rain. I'm gonna check TransGuide real quick. Mia, we have any new KSAT Connect?
So I was just checking, nothing yet really into our KSAT Connect. Again, if you safely have any photos that you would like to share with us, just for what you're seeing outside, whether it be the clouds, some rain, pretty windy conditions, or just want to let us know how those temperatures are dropping, of course, you can upload those to KSAT Connect. Since we don't really have anything severe or anything close to that really on the radar, let's take a look at some of the wind gusts now being reported. As that front moves in, you will notice the winds quickly picking up as they turn in from the north. So about 37 miles per hour, that wind gust over in Hondo in Medina County this hour, 32 out in Del Rio, 22 mile per hour wind gust in Kerrville, 33 in New Braunfels. And let's get a check-in at temperatures as well. If that doesn't tell you where the front is also, I mean, I don't know what does.
I'm a sucker for a good temperature map,
absolutely,
especially when it looks like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, 68 here in San Antonio. I think the latest reading that we got in from the airport is 66. So those temperatures are falling quickly, y'all. It is already 52 in Kerrville, 50 in Rock Springs, 72 in Uvalde. On the south side of this front, where it is still warm and humid, it's 84 in Pleasanton. So warmer than average. It just feels very, very muggy outside. But things are going to start turning around here pretty soon once that front gets through.
For sure. And I'm encouraged to see the new cells developing here over San Antonio. Again, we don't want the severe weather, but we will take the downpours for sure.
Definitely will take the rain.
I think if you're sort of ranking, what's the biggest issue today, I'd actually say temperatures and wind probably are the bigger issue than the rain.
And that's what's going to stick with us even after the rain kind of moves out this evening. So that if you're just tuning in, what does my Friday evening look like? I know a lot of folks either have Veterans Day plans today or just football games, whatever it is. Just know that it's going to be blustery out there. It's going to be much cooler. And of course, that wind makes it feel even cooler when you are outside.
And one thing that we're doing right now, guys, we're streaming on your app, and we're also streaming on YouTube. So what you can do on YouTube, and I was noticing there's a few comments there, we can answer some of your questions if you have them. Of course, be nice to us. I mean, you don't have to be nice, but one person was asking, I'm not sure if they're being 100% serious, but will it snow? The answer to that is no. We get that question a lot, though. What about this winter? Is it going to snow? Too early to say. We know our odds aren't great around here, but it can happen. We know it can happen, even in a La Nina year like it did back in 21. So let's get back to the live radar real quick. And we've got a little bit of a radar update to this cell that was over Helotes there along Bandera Road. Just north of UTSA, just north of 1604. So there's the heaviest of the rain. This is closing in on the rim as we speak. So the rim's right here. Fiesta, Texas is now getting a good downpour. The rain is coming down pretty heavy, I think, in spots. And this is going to miss Leon Springs just to the south. So let's put the radar in motion, and you can kind of understand the track of this. Again, pretty much everything's moving northeast at a pretty good clip. So that's it's not going to hang around very long. If you're seeing this heavy rain right now, it's not going to stick around for a long time. And we can zoom in a little bit closer and get you some of the neighborhoods here. So this is La Cantera, I believe, and you go down Camp Bolus Road, and that's where some of the rain is. So over some neighborhoods here off of Houseman, and just east of Helotes and north of 1604. That's where the rain is right now. The heaviest of the rain. Where you see this purple color, that's some good driving rain. Again, it's not going to stay there forever, but hopefully you get some in your rain gauge. And this is going to work towards UTSA. So if you're watching us from UTSA, you got some classes today, know that you're about to get some pretty heavy rain coming in here within the next 10 minutes or so with this particular cell, which, by the way, has grown in size and strength a little bit. So with that in mind, and I don't want to zoom too quickly here, but let's take a look at some of the threats with this cell. So we can take a look at the threats, and what this allows us to do is see if there's any hail in there. And our radar is indicating that perhaps there is some small hail. We have not got any ground truth in this yet. That's very small hail. It's not going to do damage to your car, and I don't think any cells that I'm seeing here on the radar, I don't think we have to worry about moving your car indoors. But if you hear some little pink, pink on the window. That's what it is. It's the small hail, and I would not be surprised if with some of these heavier cells if we see a little bit of that today. And that's possible there just to the northwest of Brandeis High School is what we're seeing. Let us know if you're seeing some hail. Send the pictures in the KSAT Connect so we can get a better idea of what's going on. So we'll switch it back to radar, and we'll turn some of this off. Zoom out again. And very quickly, Mia, let's reset and get everyone kind of an idea of what we're doing here. So let everyone know kind of as far as KSAT Connect, or well, KSAT Connect, yes, but the KSAT app and how we're handling this.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we love about these app casts too, is that, when we don't necessarily have severe weather out there, we don't need to clog up the airwaves, that we do have changes that are rolling through, like what we're seeing right now, just with the cold front moving in and of course some scattered rain, a couple of thunderstorms out there. It's so nice just to be able to use this space and have this platform and get you all the information and what you need to know to help plan out the rest of your day. And of course, just monitor the situation as it evolves, right? So of course, we're here on your KSAT Weather Authority app. We are also streaming on our KSAT YouTube, and there's actually a way that you can chat with us there as well. You can drop some questions in the comments. It's helpful because some folks have already been chiming in, saying where you are and giving us some ground truth as to the conditions out there. For instance, had some folks chiming in from Bulverde saying that it's cold over there, definitely seeing those temperatures dropping.
I love that one. Time to bust out the Abuela hot chocolate. I agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's hot chocolate weather this evening, apple cider weather.
Yeah.
Whatever your hot drink of choice may be.
And this person says they'll be nice, so I love that.
Appreciate that.
And great question here. How does a radar detect
hail?
Ooh,
Justin, you're the perfect person to answer this question.
We just did a case that explains on it. So what happens is the radar sends out a beam, and we look at it vertically and horizontally. So what it can do is that beam goes into the storm, and it can actually detect different objects in their size and how they move, and that's how it knows the difference between, say, rain or a hailstone. It can even detect debris during a tornado, which is pretty incredible. So radars have gotten so very good at what they do. And yes, these radars can actually go in and detect hail, and that's one of the products on our radar that I was just showing you. Thankfully, most everything we've seen today has been small hail. It's not been damaging hail, and we don't expect a lot of that, but we are going to keep an eye on the radar to see if there are any hail detections. And again, great question. We love the questions coming in on YouTube. If you're watching us there, we'll be happy to answer them if we can. Here is the latest on that storm. We'll get you another update. And this really is kind of the one storm in town that we're watching, although I'm going to go out to Medina County in just a second because we are getting some storms there as I look at the wider view of the radar. This is starting to move in around the rim, the Dominion area. There is Six Flags, Fiesta, Texas, and then as you get down towards La Cantera, some pretty heavy rain right now, so there's probably some shoppers scrambling for some dry areas right now with this cell moving through. Then we've got one that kind of trails behind it here near Brandeis High School, just to the south and west of Brandeis, and this is around Bandera and Braun. Seeing some good rain there, and then Braun Road in 1604. So 1604 on the west side is going to be wet. There's going to be some puddles. You're going to see some rain show up on the road there. So be careful. Even some light rain stretching back out towards Taft High School. So this is kind of covering 1604 there on the far northwest side. I mentioned Medina County. We do need to talk about that because we've got some other cells developing here around D'Hanis, Hondo, Castroville, right along Highway 90. Another cell here right around the Dunlay area. Maybe some pretty good rain there just north of Highway 90. That's good for the farmlands out there. I know the farmers have been praying for some rain, and hopefully we get some today. It's not going to be a lot, but some rain nonetheless. And what we can do too is look at our other radars. So we have another radar out here near Brackettville, and we can see that the range stretches out to near Eagle Pass, but unfortunately in places like Del Rio, you did miss out on the rain. Just didn't stretch far enough west. The bulk of the action really has been up towards Austin. San Antonio is missing out on the heaviest of the rain too, which feels like that's been the case all year, right? Let's go up towards Austin, and this is really the heavy stuff. And one of these storms earlier prompted a severe thunderstorm warning. That was around Killeen. Dumped a ton of hail there. We had pictures coming out of Lampasas, so it looked like it snowed So that's why we are watching for the potential of a little bit of hail today, but most of that has been up here around Round Rock, Georgetown, and northern parts of Austin. One more look here at San Antonio. There's not a ton out there, but we are getting another little cell trying to develop there near Windcrest. So this is going to be hit or miss stuff. This is not going to be, a wide shield of rain where everyone gets something. There's possibly you may get nothing, just the way things are setting up. But there are pretty good odds, about 50 to 60% of seeing a shower or storm today. So there's a look at this cell near Alamo Heights High School, but this will work towards Roosevelt High School in the Windcrest area. And moving up towards Randolph Boulevard there, there's Loop 14 where it intersects with I-35. I think rack space is over there. And so you may get a little bit of rain out of this particular cell. What we can do is put it in motion so you can see it's moving pretty quick. There went the front, and then here comes this cell as it is moving northeast as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that area, just in from the airport, now down to 64 degrees.
Wow.
Still plenty windy, of course. But yeah, Sarah Spivey actually just kind of sent us a message and said that she's in downtown, and the front has definitely moved through that area.
Yeah, yep, you're right.
You can see it right there on radar too.
It's picked up steam a little bit, at least it appears. So this is going to be through San Antonio by 2 o'clock for sure, and that falls in line with the timing we were thinking, between noon and 2 o'clock. That's what we were, anticipating as far as timing. And we'll go over, and again, storm threats. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's mainly hail, but again, I'm just not seeing a lot of it to be terribly concerned. Now, as these storms move a little bit further to the south, it's possible they can flare up a little bit. But so far, it really is it's just been some quick moving cells and some rain here or there. This picture, this is coming out of San Antonio. This is Timberwood Park. A few raindrops starting to fall. That was probably a little bit earlier as the front came through, and it looked kind of ominous. The clouds are
definitely
dark, and that happens sometimes with these fronts. You get these clouds because there's so much turbulence along the front. You get the clouds that kind of look like roll clouds, and they look like they're pretty scary, but really it's just indicating you've got a change in air mass, which is exactly what we're looking at. And there's some TransGuide shots. Roads are still dry in most spots. Let me see if I can find a TransGuide where there's some wet roads.
Yeah, it looks like things are still moving along pretty good, which of course is what we want to see. Yeah,
we certainly don't want any issues. I'm not seeing any here on TransGuide, at least from the pictures that we have. On the northwest side on 1604, there is some rain coming down pretty heavily. We mentioned around Bandera and 1604. Here's the forecast as we get into later this afternoon. As this front progresses south of San Antonio, and this is about where it will be at 2 o'clock, this is where we can see some storms right behind this front. This clearly, I think, overdoes it a little bit. It's not going to be this widespread, or these cells aren't going to be that strong, but as we get towards 4 o'clock, the rain starts to progress southeast. San Antonio starts to see things kind of wind down a little bit. Our rain chances certainly come down by this evening. So in time for football, let's go over to Mia real quick. What do we got?
No, absolutely. Just checking in here on our YouTube chat. Of course, if you have a question or whatever and you would like us to kind of just break down a certain part of the forecast for you or what we're seeing, of course, head over to our YouTube. We are streaming live on there and you can drop a question. How will this weather impact big game coverage tonight? So that goes along with exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, that's a good question. And let's see, I think we have, let me pull up the football forecast right here for you. So if you're heading out to games, this is San Antonio that we're talking about, and mostly their playoff games tonight. But around kickoff, 51 degrees, and then by halftime, 49. So cold, but it feels colder because we're going to have a northerly wind anywhere from 15 to 25. I don't anticipate lightning being an issue at any of these games in the sense that we have any delays. At that point, any sort of thunderstorm activity should be south and east of us. Now, if there are football games going on south and east of San Antonio, it could be a little different story, but we're talking about San Antonio specifically here. I think the games should be fine. I think David Sears and crew is going to be out at Comalander tonight.
Yes, that is exactly what he was saying. And he was talking about how the way the stadium is laid out, the wind's coming in from north to south, so it's going to be pretty breezy out there.
Man, he's really thinking about this.
Yes.
And there are the winds, Mia, that you were just talking about. Gusts now 28 at the airport, 33 in New Braunfels, 22 there in Kerrville, 23 in Fredericksburg. And this sort of wind field is going to shift south through the day. So you'll see gusts like this really over the entire area, but even Eagle Pass and Del Rio are seeing gusts now to 31. Uvalde, that just popped in there. Gusts to 23, Hondo gusting 37. So that's the kind of wind we're going to be looking at, I think, throughout the afternoon. And that's going to make it feel so much colder. You know, and one question I think we'll probably get to, what about freezing temperatures? Is that in the forecast? Not here in San Antonio, but as we get into tomorrow night and as we get into Sunday morning, that will be something to watch in the hill country. Let me show you the temperatures right now. Oh, there you go. Perfect. 7-day forecast. That's actually what I was looking for. I was going to get there. 59 tomorrow, 37 Sunday morning. That's here in San Antonio. So you can imagine if it's 37 here in San Antonio, then in the hill country, there are going to be some spots that are down close to freezing. Is it going to be a hard freeze? No. But some places will. And it's about that time of year. Actually, this is right on schedule, maybe a little bit behind for a freeze to occur. Here in San Antonio, we don't anticipate that. We're down to 37, but it will be cold Sunday morning, especially if we can get skies to clear some.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some folks also chiming in here over on our YouTube stream. Is the cold here to stay? And you know, the thing about this real deal cold front is that it does have some more staying power in and of itself, but also we get a reinforcing push of some of that cool air on Monday. And also another chance for maybe a few showers out there as well. But you can really see on that 7-day forecast, I mean, the cooler temperatures definitely here longer than the fronts that we have seen so far this season.
Yeah, the reinforcing shut on Monday will help.
Yes.
You know, I'm not a fan of the cold weather, but I know I'm like one of the few people that that feels that way. I think I'm in the minority when it comes to.
Yeah, we always joke about that for sure. All right, I'll let Justin kind of take a little break from getting up in front of the radar there, but real quick, let's just reset for folks that might be tuning in here or just jumping on, whether you're joining us via our KSAT Weather Authority app or KSAT app, or you're just on our YouTube stream as well. So we've got a severe thunderstorm watch that is in place for counties in yellow. That does include Bexar County, and this does go until 6 p.m. But we're not going to need it that long, I don't think, here in Bexar County, for we are still seeing the rain and thunderstorms move through with the front. So what we can do is we can kind of just take a little bit of a tour here when it comes to the front that's moving in. You can really see this green line that is now pushing close to northern Wilson County, so Lavernia. You are about to see that wind shift in. And sorry that I look a little short here. The camera is a little taller. Justin is much taller than I am. But anyways, yeah, no, so you can really see where that wind shift is taking place. China Grove has already seen that front move through. It is approaching Calaveras Lake there. Elmendorf, you'll see that front move in pretty soon as well. And it continues to work its way through Bexar County.
So yes. we got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the questions here, this is from Alicia. My kiddos go to school in Stone Oak. How will pickup look around 4 o'clock this afternoon?
That's a great question. The good news is that all of this, while some of these individual storms are pushing off to the north as well as the east, all of this activity is moving southeast in the grand scheme of things. So really the better thing to probably show if we can get there is the future cast. So let me kind of, I think Justin's going to pull it up for us. Thank you so much. All right, so this is depicting again what the radar could look like here as we see the front move through as the storms move through along with it. So this is about 2 p.m. and really we're starting to see that activity work through the area. So it's going to continue moving southeast. This is 4 p.m. Here in San Antonio, a couple of lingering showers, certainly possible, but I think by 4 o'clock in Bexar County, the heavier activity is going to be well off to our southeast. So sure, you might run into a sprinkle or a lingering shower here or there, but I think the stronger storms and where we could have some issues for the pickup time and the evening commute, that's going to be across our far southeastern counties. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
I think so. Yeah, I think by 4 o'clock, the bulk of the heavy rain should be out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's just get you another look again at what we're tracking out there on radar. Again, nothing severe, which is the good news, but we do just have a couple of downpours that are working through as the front moves through. So a lot of this activity on the backside of that front. So you can see here near Live Oak what we can do. It's hard for me to get all the way up there to touch that. All right, there we go. We're able to stop it. Okay, so we've got a nice little downpour here near the Windcrest area on the northeast side of town. So you can see there's Live Oak. It's just to the south of Selma. We can zoom this in. The really cool thing that I like about this radar is that you can get down to really a road level, and we can see where the heavy rain is falling out there in terms of the road. So there's Miller Road, Crestway Drive, the heaviest rain right now just off to your north. Randolph Boulevard there, just to the north of Windcrest. That's where the heaviest rain is associated with that activity. And then as we move farther off to the west here, looks like another trailing shower. There's Shorts Corner. Here's San Antonio International. Justin, I'd be interested to see if the airport was able to pick up on anything as that downpour kind of tried to develop. Near MacArthur High School there, again, just to the north of Loop 410. We've got a little downpour. That's moving to the northeast. And then taking a look farther up in northern Bexar County, so this is north of Hollywood Park. Here's 1604. Chavano Park, seeing a little bit of rain there as well. But just to the north, here's near Stone Oaks. We were just talking about Stone Oaks, seeing some light to even moderate rain there right now.
It's 64 at the airport, Mayor.
64 at the airport. So that's another thing, right? Those temperatures quickly fall, the wind picks up. So that's what's going to affect everybody today, right? For some of us, hopefully for more of us than not, we're able to pick up on some rain out there. But what's going to affect everybody today is going to be the cooler air moving in as well as the winds. So that's going to be something to look at there as well. So a little downpour there just to the east of Leon Springs, north of 1604, northern Bexar County. UTSA, the heaviest rain, now just to the east of campus. There's Clark High School, Sarah Spivey's old stomping grounds there. Getting in on some rain action, Chavano Park. Just got a new radar scan. You can see that's all moving to the northeast. Leon Valley as well, just to the west of Marshall High School. Seeing some of that rain as well. Dover Road, Culebra. I was just over there earlier today doing a fun little school talk, Loma Elementary. That was fun. The kids were fantastic. Wiseman Boulevard, a little bit of light rain out there as well. SeaWorld, seeing some light rain. We've got another little downpour there, far western reaches of Bexar County near 1604. And then what we can do here is let's check out Medina County, because again, fronts moving through. We've got a couple more downpours there near Rio Medina, in between Rio Medina as well as Castroville. There's Highway 90 right there. We can move this a little bit farther to the south. Dunlay picking up on some rain earlier. Now we've got some moderate rain there to your north as well as to the south. And what we can do is just kind of Sabinal, there's a few downpours there out in eastern Uvalde County. But the heaviest rain, and I know Justin was talking about this earlier, and really the stronger thunderstorms so far have been off to our north, to the Austin area, reaching back over to College Station. That's where the heavier rain and the stronger storms have been today. But again, if you're just tuning in, we do not have anything severe here or anything close to that, really, in South Central Texas, the San Antonio area. The front is working its way through. And we'll just kind of put this in motion so you can see the bigger picture. That front pushing through, and really just some speckles of rain here and there, especially moving into Bexar County.
And Mia, someone asked, does this happen to have anything to do with the hurricane in Florida?
Well,
not
really.
I mean, there's always a connection between weather systems, right? But for the most part, that system, these are separate systems,
yeah.
And that's causing a lot of headaches there on the East Coast. But for us, you know, on the back side of it, you get we're getting the cold front, yes, but these are two kind of separate systems, especially the energy that's helping to create some of these showers and storms today.
And sometimes, you know, when we do see tropical systems closer to Mexico, we can try and pull in some of that moisture from tropical systems. But really, the passage of this front and the parent area of low pressure is one of the reasons why Nicole is staying as far east as it is.
You're right. Exactly. That's a very good point. It's all interconnected, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. That when you look at the big picture and all the weather systems.
So that's why it's not an easy answer per se, but for the most part, no. Here's a picture that I just pulled up on KSAT Connect for you, Mia.
Awesome. All right. So 20-degree temperature drop in a matter of 45 minutes over in Bulverde. So I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This front, especially with the ones that we've seen earlier this season, they weren't as strong, number one, but we really didn't see temperatures fall as quickly as what we're seeing with this front. So it is going to be a much cooler and kind of just blustery evening if you are stepping out for any of those Friday evening plans. So definitely plan on taking the coat with you as well. In San Antonio, by evening plans, most of the rain is out of here. And honestly, as we kind of reset here, we can just show you what we're expecting going forward. We can take a look at temperatures and wind as well. But just looking at TransGuide here, I-10 at Crossroads, no issues, which is great to see, and hopefully we can continue that trend throughout the rest of the afternoon. But let's take you here hour by hour again into the future cast. So as this front continues to work its way through South Texas, by about 3 to 4 o'clock, a few lingering showers certainly possible here in and around Bexar County, but I do think the heavier rain and a couple thunderstorms out there is moving through places like Gonzales, reaching over to Cuero, Hallettsville out there in Lavaca County, Karnes City in Karnes County. So that is all going to keep moving southeast, and then that pushes down closer to the coast later this evening. So here's 7 p.m. and just a few isolated showers possible out there, especially across our southeastern counties. So if you're tuning in from the Hill Country or our western counties closer to the Rio Grande, you will be pretty dry out there, but it is just going to be very windy and of course cold out there as well. So here's your weather timeline. The biggest thing besides the scattered rain and storms is just going to be the temperatures that are already tumbling out there. And that will continue to be the case here throughout the remainder of the day. Really, and this actually sums it up perfectly. So we fall into the 50s later this afternoon, but tonight, especially after the sun goes down, those temperatures continue to fall. So some 40s certainly possible. And Justin, when you factor in the wind chills.
Wind chills will be in the 30s.
Yeah.
And this is the first time this season we've been talking wind chills, but it's something to remember. We kind of forget about it, but you once that temperature drops below 50 degrees, you get a stout northerly wind, and boom, there you go. You get the feels like number.
Yep.
And when it feels like 30, well, mid-30s perhaps.
Mid-30s.
By tomorrow morning. I'm thinking about all the little kids that got soccer matches tomorrow morning.
Oh, man. Yep.
Bundle up.
The thermals, you know, the long sleeve thermals under the uniform. That's definitely going to be something to take with you. So speaking of that south north wind, here are the latest wind gusts that we still do have across the area. So 28 mile per hour wind gusts over at San Antonio International, 33 mile per hour wind gusts up in New Braunfels, 23 miles per hour in Uvalde. Del Rio clocking in a wind gust of 31 miles per hour. So remember, as Justin was just saying, that makes it feel even cooler out there. And you can see how those temperatures are tumbling. 63 in New Braunfels, 50 in Kerrville, traveled just up the road, already in the upper 40s. In Fredericksburg, 55 in Austin, 60s here in San Antonio, and then it's still 84 in Pleasanton, where the front has not made it to you yet, but I promise it is on its way. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of those temperatures start to drop across our southern counties here over the next couple of hours. But as we take a closer look here at the San Antonio Metro, 82 at Stinson, the front is on your doorstep, but I mean, you travel just up into Bexar County, and we're in the 60s across the northern reaches of Bexar County. Bernie Stage Road area at 54, 50 in Kerrville, 71 Rio Medina, 64 in Hondo, 53 up at Los Maples as well. So I know we've had a lot of folks kind of chiming in. Is the cold going to stay? Well, here's a look at your 7-day forecast, and then we'll get you back to the radar again and kind of just get you an update on what we're looking at out there. But we get a reinforcing push of cooler air that moves in early next week. And you can really see how that keeps temperatures below average. So in the mornings, it is going to be coat weather. We're waking up in the 30s, 40s. Specifically want to point out Sunday morning as well, 37 here in San Antonio. But of course, in higher elevations like parts of the hill country where temperatures are able to fall a little bit more efficiently, a light freeze certainly possible by Sunday morning. So that's going to be something that we need to watch for tender vegetation and things like that. But really, yes, the cooler air is certainly looking to stick with us, not just this weekend, but even into next week, Justin.
Yeah, it is going to stick around. And Mia, let's go back to radar real quick. We got some new stuff popping up, not necessarily here in San Antonio, but you'll notice down there around Forestville, your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods.
That's actually out ahead of the front, so it probably gets undercut here in a little bit.
Yeah, probably so.
Seeing some new development there around Gonzales, and then I was eyeing once you look at that storm in Forestville, also another stronger cell, it looks like, up there in northern Blanco County.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, this is in between Floresville and Post, so literally where I grew up. Highway 181 right here, just a little shower that has been able to develop out there in Wilson County. That's moving farther up to the north and the east. Here's the front again. So we'll zoom this in. So this is now past Lavernia by. So Lavernia, the front has moved through your area. It's going to be approaching Sutherland Springs, Stockdale. There's a little shower there just to the southeast of Stockdale. But this little green line, often why we see a return on the radar whenever these cold fronts are moving through is because that stout north wind that Justin was talking about earlier, that can kick up things like insects, leaves on the ground, and that is why we often see a little green line as the front moves through the area. But yeah, so we were talking about Stinson earlier, how they were in the 80s while San Antonio International was in the 60s. You can see now that front's moving through southern Bexar County, Calaveras Lake, over into Mitchell Lake. But yeah, so we've got some rain that's moving in to Bexar County, really the San Antonio area, Leon Valley, and then over by the medical center. I think earlier we had a comment or a question asking if the medical center was going to get some rain. So here's Oakland Estates right there. Here's the medical center, Callahan Road right there as well, Leon Valley. So we've got some moderate rain, just a new radar scan there. Now the heavier rain just to the southeast of Marshall High School.
So Stinson went from 80 degrees down to 70
there you go.
10 minutes.
In 10 minutes.
Yep.
So over a 10-degree temperature drop.
Yep. San Antonio International Airport was, I believe, a 15-degree temperature drop in 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. All right. So here's Huebner Road right there, Oakland Estates, Data Point Drive. And then we've just got a little bit of rain right there as well. That all moving to the north and the east. Let's check out this little downpour here near the medical center. And again, Callahan Road. What we can do is take a look at the rain rates as well. Nothing really too impressive. Let's see. Oh, I think I need to check this again. There we go. Okay, so about 3/10, nothing crazy impressive as of right now. Essentially what that means is that if this storm was going to sit over you for an hour, how much rain would fall. We've got, looks like maybe some higher rain rates here near Marshall High School, Leon Valley. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so about 1/2 inch, 6/10 of an inch, so a little bit heavier rain falling there with that. We'll switch it back over to the radar. But that heavier rain is now moving closer to the Med Center and I-10 right there. So there's UTSA, Hollywood Park, some light rain to the south. SeaWorld, seeing a little bit of rain there as well. Western Bexar County, Northwest Vista, there's Warren High School, Stevens High School, getting a little bit of rain this afternoon. And then over into Medina County, Rio Medina, a couple of showers there. Castroville, got some downpours just to your southwest. So this is Highway 90 right here, cutting through Medina County near Dunlay, just south of Dunlay. Some moderate rain. Let's check out the rain rates with these. Justin, has there been anything in from the National Weather Service or anything like that?
No, it's really been pretty quiet, and that's
It's a good sign.
yeah, we've had some reports of pea-sized hail, not here, but that's been up in Travis County, and that's not a surprise with those storms.
Right.
So yes, we're under this watch, but I don't know that we here in San Antonio have too much to worry about. Yeah, there could be some pea-sized hail in some of these storms. And we'll see what happens as the front progresses south and east, but I really think the severe threat is not all that high today. I think this is more of a windy, cooler situation. That's kind of the talk of the town right now.
Definitely. So yeah, a little bit heavier rain there south of Highway 90 in Medina County as we see those storms kind of move through as well. But I can switch it over to the radar over near Bracketville. And just across Medina County, stretching over into Uvalde County as well, south of Canepa, Sabinal, Uvalde. Just a few scattered showers. Nothing to worry about with that activity either. But we'll put this into motion. So if you are tuning in from our western counties, you can get just a big sense of how this rain is trekking across our western counties, really as that front moves southeast. That activity is moving along with it.
And Mia, I'll switch off with you real quick.
Sure.
And I think we'll probably, because there's not a ton going on, we'll kind of wrap this up pretty quickly because, look, I mean, there's it's just rain and it's cooler and the front's now through San Antonio. If anything does change, we'll let you know. But this is one last look at the radar, and Mia's done a great job kind of driving you through where all the storms are right now. The only other area I would point out is up here around northern Blanco County, where we do have some lightning strikes, but this is pretty much moving out of our viewing area. So this is north of Johnson City. We're not going to worry too much about that, but that's where most of the heaviest stuff has been, well to our north. Here around San Antonio, it's just been these kind of random downpours, and gosh, that doesn't look all that great right now. We need more rain than this, and that was one of the questions we got on YouTube. Hey, are we going to get more rain next week? There is a chance Monday. It's going to look a lot like this, though. We're not getting the widespread rain that we need or that we hope for to help get us out of this drought. This is not going to do it. But be prepared for some downpours today. Colder, windier. That's going to be the main thing that we're going to be dealing with throughout the rest of the afternoon. If you have evening plans, bottom line, windy, chilly, cold tonight. Coldest we've seen in several months. Well, since spring.
Yeah.
And wind chills will be in the 30s tonight. So we really appreciate you joining us here on the KSAT weather app, maybe the KSAT app. Maybe you're joining us on YouTube or on KSAT.com. This is a way we can, casually talk to you and interact with you and talk to you about what's going on weather-wise. That front officially through San Antonio at this point and almost out of Bexar County. So we're going to give it a break. If there is anything else that pops up, we'll be here to let you know. And as always, send in those pictures to KSAT Connect. That way we can pop them up on air. And meteorologist Adam Caskey will be in here later this afternoon to track the latest, should anything else pop up. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend, stay warm, and we'll see you again, hopefully, here on the KSAT apps and YouTube as well. Have a great day.